555 Jacksonville.
I love Coach Cohen and the whole staff and everyone that's in, all the guys that were brought in free agency, just good dudes, good players too. But I really feel like we've done some great things this offseason.
Adding people who are intangibly rich. And Travis, in fact, as a player, is rare. But as a person, he's also rare.
Gets away from one and superhuman pick from Travis Hunter. Put the cape on him already.
I think he has a great career ahead of him on both sides of the ball. If he's the best DB, is he the best wide receiver? Who knows? But is he a great playmaker on both sides of the ball? Yeah. Yes, he is. And at the end of the day, when you're a team like, us right now, who's in that stage of we have to get it right now. We need the best playmakers on the field at all times. And if he can give you that value, let's do it.
We need to go win football games. And right now, am I optimistic? Absolutely. But I'm also realistic. Like, hey, let's not break our arms, patting ourselves in the back, how great things are going right now. Because ultimately, it's about winning football games, and that's what we're focused on.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you to the Jaguars for not requiring us to go out in the heat today. They took the day off. Tone, triple digits, back-to-back days.
Yeah.
But I'm still, look, I get it. They know much more than I do, I'm sure. I don't know why you don't practice at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I really don't. It's going to be hot. It's hot in the morning. It's hot in the afternoon. It's not 2 days. I get it. You got to be careful with these guys, but you're playing in this. Now, granted, you're not going to be playing in late July, but man, if you can acclimate yourself to that in late July, early to mid-September shouldn't be as much of an issue, I don't think.
Yeah, I do wonder, do they push it back later into the day once they get out of camp, right? And everything is officially getting ready for Carolina, And so early on, this is the early part of it. So early on, are they more, we'll get it done in the morning so the weather will be less of a factor in all likelihood. Yeah. The odds of us having to move it inside makes some kind of sense. And they still do the walkthroughs in the afternoon, so they're still out there when it's hot, right? Because if you are going out there for the walkthrough at 3 or 4 o'clock, that is the hot part of the day. Yeah. Right? If the rain hasn't moved in yet. So you do get a little bit of it, but I'm with you. I wouldn't have a problem if they were out there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon doing training camp practice, but they have their method.
I'm sure it's all thought out. They're smarter than I am. I'm not claiming I could coach an NFL team. I just have my opinions about certain little things. It's always stuck in my head. What? You don't play at 8:30 in the morning.
No.
Why are you acclimating yourself to that weather? And maybe right now, July 30th, or tomorrow, the 31st, 9 o'clock in the morning will be the equivalent, 1 o'clock on September, whatever,
For this time of year, this is extraordinarily hot.
Right, it is really crazy out there. But the Jags not on the practice field today, which is a benefit for you. We hope our listeners here on Jaguars Today, because we got two of our favorites, two of the best on the beat. Demetrius Harvey and John Shipley, each going to spend some time with us this morning. As a matter of fact, Demetrius coming up in a little over 10 minutes and Ship about an hour away. And we'll get some of their observations from the first week of camp, Tony. 6 practices in the books, couple in pads. They will practice again tomorrow. Then they move to the in-stadium scrimmage on Friday. I think off Saturday, back on Sunday. We'll be out there next Tuesday. It'll be the final one open to the public. So, I'm looking forward to it. I've enjoyed being out there. Enjoyed talking with Wyatt Milam yesterday, right? He's ready to roll. Yeah. It's getting to know some of these new players for us because we're not in those circumstances where we're always out there at the end of practices when you can interview some of these guys. So glad we've had the opportunity to do that, and we'll see what we can bring you next Tuesday as well. Just a terrible start to the day by me, I think. Just the question of the day. Bro, I get so excited when we throw a poll question out there, and the first time I look to see what the results are, if everybody's got somewhere 18 to 20% at a floor, right? Somebody might be up 35%, but that means it's pretty well distributed, and all the options are pretty good. Maybe not so much today. I thought this would be a little bit more widespread than it is. So this may end up just being a throwaway right here. And which of these running backs will catch the most passes for the Jags in 2025. And it makes sense to some degree that Etienne is the lead choice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that 72% of the people are going that way. I thought there'd be a little bit more love for like Quinn Allen, who I've been told could earn the third down job. Now, that doesn't mean you can't catch passes on first and second down. And Etienne will have a pass-catching role. And I think there's been talk about Liam Cohen using both Tank Bigsby and Etienne in combination. Provided all four of these running backs are on the roster.
Yeah.
So for right now, let's assume that that's going to be the case, right? I certainly can't see any scenario where Bigsby and Tootin are not on this roster, right? I mean, barring injury that shuts them down for the year or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, if they're healthy, those guys are on this roster. Well, Quinn Allen, the only reason there's any question is because he's a seventh-round pick to me. But even then, I think they see something in him. I thought he stood out to them as a value, and they're not going to risk getting him to the practice squad. And, so that leaves you with Travis Etienne. And Travis Etienne, as I noted, to me, maybe the standout player over the last 2 days. Now, it's easier to stand out when the ball's in your hand, right? But he had the ball a lot, and I thought he looked good with it. And I've been praising Tank Bigsby up until this point because Tank's looked really good. And he's been getting the run ahead of Etienne. But I think that had shifted. I don't know if it shifted back that way or if it's just like, we've done it this way for a little bit. We're going to go this. And they're both going to get kind of the 1A treatment and both going to get the 1B treatment for a while. Basil Tootin not able to do team drills yesterday, so he was working off to the side. He was in pads after missing entirely the day before. So that factors into it as well. So I'm not, again, trying to be extremely fair because I do think the possibility exists that some team comes calling on Travis Etienne. But that doesn't mean the Jags are necessarily going to just sell him for a pittance or they're certainly not going to. There's no reason to cut him because you're locked into paying him on the fifth-year option. It's guaranteed money, regardless whether he's on the roster or not. So I thought there's at least, though, that chance that all these other guys perform really well. 4 tailbacks is kind of rare. Sometimes you have 3 with a fullback. I'm not saying it's impossible, but 72% going with Etienne. Basil Tootin actually second right now, but it's kind of minor the difference between Tootin and Allen and Bigsby. Bigsby coming up with in the rear. I'll say this, even though Bigsby has not been a pass catcher in the National Football League, he's getting the ball thrown to him. I mean, the backs are going to have to catch the football if they're on the field in this offense. But there has been that talk about maybe you'll see, Etienne shifted out of the backfield, Bigsby as a tailback, have them both take advantage of some of his receiving ability. But then you start getting into this numbers game. All right, are you going to take a tight end off the field? Right? Brian Thomas Jr. is not coming off the field. You spent all this to go get Travis Hunter. De'Ami Brown is a big fixture. So there'll be opportunities. It won't be, obviously, the base offense. But we can talk about that a little bit today. Some of the guys that have stood out to us along the way as well over the first week of padded practices. And I wish I could be out there for the in-stadium scrimmage. Got to work on Friday night, so won't be able to see that. But I'm sure our guys, Ship and Demetrius and D-Rock and everybody here at 1010XL will give us full up-to-the-minute.
No doubt,
reporting on what's going down. So, Dylan Denmark, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
What's going on?
Well, this morning before practice, we were practicing field goals, and we have our field goal holder. So that's the best thing I got for you today.
You've identified the holder for the team. Was this a concern for you going into the season?
I didn't even think about it. And one of the coaches was like, hey, I think you can do this. I said, hey, come over here. Let me show you.
Can you catch a ball, spin it?
Yeah, well, he's got 2 brain cells, and he's got good hands, so he passed the test.
All right, well, you do have the good hand. I think that's
and in high school, you're allowed to use a tee.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so they can at least set it there.
Still got to catch it, set it, spin the laces the right way. Right. Like, I feel like that's because it has to be done. It's one of the more thankless jobs, right? Like, the only time you're recognized, it's like what they say about offensive linemen, is when you screw up, right? If you do it well, nobody, every once in a while you get credit for saving a bad snap.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to get that as much in high school, right?
What they do, we take it for granted. Right at the upper levels of football, those kind of things that go on. Any of us like Dylan and I that are out for the high school football on Friday nights, everything that happens on special teams anywhere.
You can definitely tell if a team practices special teams during the week or not on Friday night.
It's like wild.
It is clear as day.
And I will be clear. You practice at what time today?
We're 8 to 11 this week.
8 to 11. Okay.
8 a.m.
All right, so you're out there for just a little bit before
15 minutes
the show.
prior.
You're just checking in with the guys, touching base, letting them know that Coach Denmark cares about what's going on. And I will say this, that did not try to be a hypocrite. They're smart to practice in the morning. These are young people.
Well, you have to this week. Right.
They're the rules, right?
Yeah, well, once the heat index, every team now has an athletic trainer, and once the bulb gets to triple digits, you cannot practice. So you have to get it in. Like yesterday, they had to get it done before 10:10, or they had to wait until 7 o'clock.
Do you guys have ice baths and stuff out there?
Oh yeah,
we
have a plastic tub, and
and so if somebody overheats, you just jump right in there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which is smart. That difference. I'm talking about highly paid professionals in a beautiful facility that does have the ability to cool you down rapidly. That you can get indoors, you can get out of the sun, whatever. Those guys, I think you can stress a little bit more. I'm not talking about the 16-year-old high school placeholder, the snap holder right there. I don't want that kid to overheat too much. So Baldwin on the path. They have gotten their holder, Tony. They know who the holder is going to be. That's one step in the plan to total world domination for the Baldwin Indians in 2025. All right, so we got Big Meech, Demetrius Harvey, going to lead things off from the Florida Times-Union coming up. I've enjoyed his post-practice videos that he does walking around and giving you some instant observations on what he saw on the day. John Shipley's been doing a terrific job as well covering camp, and we'll catch up with Ship from SI coming up about an hour from now. If you've got questions for either, you can send them along in a variety of ways. Not so much on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines at 641-1010, but on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at that same number. You can pop in the YouTube virtual studio and post in the chat there. You can hit us up on social media. Tell us what a lopsided poll I've chosen to run today. My bad, everybody. Appreciate everybody voting on it, though. Got over 160 votes, and we've just been on the air for 10 minutes, so that's good. Asking you which of these running backs will catch the most passes for the Jags. Allen, Bigsby, Etienne, Tootin, listing them alphabetically right there. You can go to @MD_1010XL and vote. Don't forget @1010XL Fat Tony and @1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
What would you suggest, young man? By the way, think about this, Dylan. Okay. My offspring, 21 years old, not a party animal, which is fine. I wasn't either, right? At least up until a certain point. And so he says, I'm 21. I'm like, what's all the big deal with alcoholic beverages? Now, I'm not trying to turn him into a drunk, but he's 21. He can do what he wants, right?
He doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink, but he's kind of curious about what he should try. Like he tried some wine we had at the house, and
I hate wine.
Wasn't good, right? Like I like wine, but I think it is an acquired taste, right? So. I don't know. Like I've never had a White Claw. I don't know what I should be recommending. I don't think you want to start him at Guinness.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I'm not looking to start it, by the way, down a path. But he has expressed an interest in why do you guys do this and what tastes good and whatnot. So, at the house, it's a perfect environment for him to realize don't be an idiot and overindulge, right?
Yeah, the seltzer's got a lot of sugar in it, so you can't. I can't drink too much of them.
No.
Like the high noons is what I usually go for, but if you want to start with like the mixed drinks, like a vodka Sprite or rum and Coke, just a little bit.
What am I doing here?
You got to put that much liquor in it. Just put a little dabble in it, and then you can mix it in.
Yeah. You got to really water it down to start. Mm-hmm. I think.
Because I didn't like drinking beer when I went to college.
A lot of people don't. And then you realize, once you power through the first 3 or 4, you're fine. You don't really your taste buds kind of numb up a little bit at that point, Tony, I think. So what Father of the Year, ladies and gentlemen. He's 21.
Yeah.
Do whatever he wants. Doesn't need my permission. Just trying to it's an interesting landscape because it's never really been an issue in my house. Never had any desire to go down that road. But, his girlfriend drinks a little bit and nothing crazy. And so he's wondering what he's missing out on. So I don't know if I should give him something that's going to make him regret ever taking a sip of it. You know what I mean? And maybe save him decades of heartache. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll table that for now. Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union with camp observations 1 week in. He is straight ahead. This is Jaguars Today. We're glad you're along with us. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Now, you know it. Football season is right around the corner. It's going to be time for some tailgating, hosting parties at the house, college football on Saturday afternoon as well. Folks, I was actually surprised to learn that aside from making great-tasting grab-and-go sandwiches, Dandy is also willing to deliver to your door tailgate subs, party trays, all kinds of stuff. Perfect for snacking while you watch the game. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me think about this. 10 years, I'm just now hearing about this from Dandy. I think I need to see a sample. I really didn't have any idea that this was possible. I mean, how am I supposed to talk about this without seeing the goods? 9117 Hogan Road, Thompson family. That's right, Dandy's creators. If I'm not going to get my T-shirt that I've been begging for, the least you can do is serve us up some food. Tony has the Italian tailgater sound. I think it sounds delicious. However we want it, we'll stack it high, and we'll see if we can't make ours a Dandy today and maybe tomorrow, too.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Jeff Prosser.
This is my best friend in all the world. That's who he is.
But does he have a name?
Oh, yeah.
Dan Hicken.
Is everyone you know so famous?
Famous? Him? What are you talking about?
Mornings on 1010XL.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
The 2025 NFL season is just around the corner, and we can't wait for you to be back at the bank. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are starting off the preseason going head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers Saturday, August 9th. Be at the bank as the Jags take the field for the first time this season, and grab your tickets for a 7 p.m. kickoff by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you soon, Jags fans.
The SEC and the ACC will face off in Jacksonville at the 81st TaxSlayer Gator Bowl game December 27th at 7:30 p.m. Join us for Saturday Night Football in prime time at the bank. Preferred locations and pricing available now at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Ryan and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World, simply the best for less. And thank you for your business.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Hey, yeah, I want to shoot, baby, shoot.
Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, let's go to the source, Tony. We got eyes on the scene all over there. Jaguars Today spies, friends of the program, friends of ours out there soaking up every second of everything this team does on the practice field, forming their opinions and analysis. And we welcome in good friend of ours, friend of the program, Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union. Demetrius, good morning. Hope you're enjoying a little indoor air conditioning this morning after the last couple of days.
Good morning. Absolutely, I am. And it's actually pretty funny. I think the last practice is probably the hottest I've ever been at a practice, and I was even in the sun for most of it. So these guys are really out there doing their thing in this heat, and it's always going to be crazy to me.
They're grinding, that's for sure. All right, so 1 week in, we got 6 practices in. Just let's start at the top with Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. What have you seen? What have you liked? And what maybe makes you raise an eyebrow?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every year it's kind of similar. I've always believed in Trevor Lawrence. I still do. But I will say, from the onset, going into the first day of practice or first day of training camp, I felt like I saw him doing things that maybe in years past you wouldn't necessarily see him do in terms of the accuracy, in terms of, the lack of interceptions. I think he's only had one, and it was a tip pass. And just in terms of being able to be efficient, and it seems like he's executing the plays that the coaches like. And he's doing this all while also, changing up his footwork. For example, in shotgun, his left foot is now forward instead of his right foot. Little things like that mean a lot, and those take time. So, a couple of things, I think that he still needs, and I think that this is going to be something that probably will just have to carry over through the season itself. But he still needs to grow a better connection with guys like Brian Thomas, grow a better connection with guys like De'Ami Brown. If we all remember, Brian was hurt for a significant portion of the season, or Trevor was hurt for a significant portion of the season, so he didn't really have all that time to really play with Brian. So being able to have that timing down, I think that that's something that really needs to be improved upon, and I guess that would be the eyebrow raise. If you will.
Sorry, Demetrius. What, if anything, has stood out for you through the first week with Travis Hunter as he continues to flip both ways?
Yeah, I mean, his conditioning is crazy. I asked Boya Lukin about that yesterday. He agrees. Everyone agrees. I think that this kid is just different in terms of being able to have the energy he has, being able to do what he does in terms of flipping back and forth. I mean, truly, fully commanded on offense for 2 days and then flipping over to the defensive side. And then in the middle of that, during special teams, some players, aren't in special teams. So they're just kind of standing around, getting water, doing little tiny things. But, Travis has a quartet of coaches around him, training him basically for the opposite side of the ball of whatever he's doing that day. So those are the things that have impressed me. Obviously, when he's at corner, to me, he looks very natural. He looks like a guy that can make plays. I think he had a couple pass breakups the last he was in in the white jersey. And so, those are the kind of things that stand out. And then also the improvement on his route running and improvement as a wide receiver from the first day of minicamp to now. It's significant improvement. And I think that he actually showed on yesterday, how good of a receiver he can be just by the little nuances that you see throughout practice. So, yeah, I think it's been all good. Now, have we seen anything that you're sitting there like, oh, my gosh, this guy, he's out of this world? No, not necessarily. But I think that the fact that he's able to do what he's doing is sort of out of this world.
Demetrius Harvey, Florida Times Union. We think his coverage is out of this world as well. Demetrius, who's made you raise an eyebrow in a positive way? Like, oh, this guy's got a little bit more than I expected coming into camp. It could be more than one player, but is there a player that has stood out to you in that regard?
I think I could go a couple of different ways. Joshua Cephas is a guy that everybody sort of names, and I think that he has improved dramatically on last year. Last year, he was dropping a lot of passes, to be quite frank with you. This year, I don't think that he's really dropped that many passes. I know that Liam said that he needed to improve his conditioning in order to go back on the field a little bit more often. But, I mean, if that's the only criticism and he actually improves it, then that's a pretty good thing. But otherwise, I do think that Britton Strange is a guy that not everybody's talking about necessarily because he's been on the team for the last couple of years. Everybody loved Evan Ingram, and they're kind of just waiting and seeing with Britton Strange. But from what I've seen during training camp, his presence in the red zone is going to be huge, and his ability to catch the ball over defenders, similar to how Evan Ingram was able to do, really, that's significant. I think that, I know he got hurt yesterday, but Hunter Long is another guy who kind of surprised me a little bit, where I'm like, okay, well, they might have two capable tight ends that can both block and catch, and that's going to be something that they're going to have to lean on moving forward.
Yeah, he got nicked up. Muntz got nicked up a little bit. Do they have enough depth in that room right now, or do you think the plan is just to keep those three ideally?
I think that would be the plan, ideally. But like you said, both Munt and now Long have gotten nicked up. And to answer your question, I do not think that they have adequate depth at that position. Once you lose Long, once you lose Munt, you really only have Britton Strange and then a bunch of guys who sort of need to prove themselves. They haven't done anything in the NFL yet. But yeah, I do think that would be a problem.
Has any player jumped out for you on the offensive line based on what you've seen or heard from anyone to this point?
I think Ezra Cleveland is having a good camp. It's only been a couple of days of pay, so it's really hard to judge the total offensive line. I will say, because Patrick McCarry has been out, Chuma Edoga has been in there, and you can see the physicality this guy has. Now, whether or not he's going to be a capable starting guard for them, that's to be determined. But as of right now, absolutely, that's a guy that I thought would maybe come in and be a reserve. But now I'm thinking, maybe he can push a position group down the line. And so I think that that's another guy who's stood out. I think Anton Harrison has looked pretty solid in terms of him running and actually, participating. It feels like he's really into it this year, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, you hear like, hey, Walker Little's getting beat by Josh Hines Allen. Shouldn't he? Right? I mean, you know what? I mean, to some degree, like, and if he didn't, he's handling his business great, then wouldn't we be saying, well, what's wrong with Josh Hines Allen, right? I mean, so I think you get some of that. It's hard to know exactly what point they're at in their development because, there's got to be a winner, got to be a loser. On the defensive side, in the secondary, how's free safety shaping up in your opinion?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, right? I mean, everyone already knows, obviously, Eric Murray is one of the safeties. And then to him, it seems like there's a quartet of players. Antonio Johnson, Andrew Wingard, Darnell Savage, and then you have the rookie out there, too. Yeah, Ransall out there. So I don't necessarily think that Ransall is a guy that's going to be the day one starter, simply because they do have all these other guys that can come in and sort of provide that safety help. I do know that, too, the coaching staff is very, very much sold on the word safety. So if you're thinking that way, it's hard to believe that a rookie could come in and be that safety, have that communication down, have that experience to be able to come in right away and do that. So with that being said, I've seen Andrew Wingard have a very successful camp thus far. I think that he's been in there a lot, and he's also a guy that even the previous coaching staff felt really of, and so I could definitely see him being the guy to sort of go in there with guys like Antonio Johnson, Darnell Savage, those kind of guys can fit in some places, but I really do think that right now Andrew Wingard is sort of the number one on the tent pole, but then, after that, it's going to remains to be seen.
What have been your impressions of the new coaching staff as they all take on brand new roles? As far as from head coach to the two coordinators now on both sides of the ball, they're in these positions for the first time. What have been your impressions of them?
Repeat the question, sorry.
What have been your impressions of the new coaches, from head coach to the coordinators being out there doing this for the first time?
Yeah, no, they kind of are what they are, I think. I think that the ones who stand out to me is obviously Anthony Campanile. In terms of his approach, it's different from in years past. And me and the Times Union's Justin Lewis were talking about this yesterday. In years past, Mike Caldwell was a linebackers coach before he became a defensive coordinator. So, naturally, you saw him with the linebackers the majority of practice. Brian Nielsen was a defensive line coach, before he became a defensive coordinator. Naturally, you saw him with the defensive line the majority of practices. And I mean the majority. I don't even know how much he spent time with the other ends of the field. So this guy, Campanile, is everywhere. When he's not doing the one-on-one during special teams with Travis Hunter, he's over with the linebackers. He's over with the corners. He's running over to Jarian Jones after he makes a big play. He's doing this with the defensive line. He's having tips and things of that nature. And then you see guys like Liam Cohen. He's also around. Just because he's offensive coordinator doesn't mean that he's not going to be going over to the defense. So I do think that this coaching staff is more connected, I guess, if that's the right word, to the players and then to themselves as coaches. It feels like they're working as one rather than everybody's in their own individual groups.
You sound like John Gruden. This guy, Coach Camp here, this guy, he's running all over the place. Demetrius, I've enjoyed your post-practice videos. I have no issue with the sound quality, by the way. I can understand everything you're saying, and I think you've done an excellent job on those, and they're fun recaps. Do you have any, other than the day-to-day coverage of what you're seeing with your eyes, do you have any angles that you're working on for any stories over there at the TU?
Yeah, no, actually, now that you mention it, obviously Eric Armstead is moving back to defensive tackle. I spoke with him. We haven't, as a media contingent, been able to speak with him yet. And he had some interesting things to say about the defense in terms of why he feels confident in what they're going to be doing, why switching back to defensive tackle was important, and things of that nature. So I have that coming hopefully next week, maybe not this week, but yeah, things like that. I do believe that this defense is going to be heavily reliant on guys like Eric Armstead and Mason Smith, and I think they need to both be on the field.
And what about the best nose tackle in the league, Devon Hamilton? I don't know if you've heard.
I will say, I know Josh is going to always pick up for his guy. I will say, though, before Devon Hamilton had that back ailment, I think we all can agree that he was one of the best nose tackles in the game in terms of being able to stop the run. So we'll see. I think that, that's another guy that we're not going to truly know until the game time comes. But, as long as he can stay healthy, I guess we'll find out about Devon.
All right, well, enjoy your off day. Excellent work, as always, from the Florida Times-Union. Demetrius Harvey on social media at Demetrius82 if you want to catch up on all the latest with what's happening on the practice field with your Jacksonville Jaguars. Demetrius, appreciate the visit, and look forward to seeing you out there tomorrow.
Appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. There he goes, Demetrius Harvey of your local paper, the Florida Times-Union, on the Jaguars beat. John Shipley from Sports Illustrated coming up in about 45 minutes from now, and we'll get some of his observations as well, Tony. Devon Hamilton, we'll talk about him and his importance to this football team, particularly with what Foye Oluokun said, what this defense needs to get done. We'll get into that coming up straight ahead. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. The station that covers the Jaguars day in and day out.
It's not the old Jaguars team. We're not pushovers, so we're going to fight back.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Sun's out, savings out. That's what this summer is all about. Hurry to Kia on Atlantic this month to maximize your fun in the sun. Make no payments for 90 days and drive new Kia starting under $20K. Plus, It's easy to shop for new Kias when you know we have financing rates starting at 0. Take advantage of the sunniest time of year and drive away with the sunshine savings from here. Online at KeonAtlantic.com. Keon Atlantic, your Kia Coastal connection. For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hey, Hickett here. Think you got the ugliest garage floor on the First Coast? Your garage a crack-stained hot mess? Hold on to your squeegee. Checkmate Coatings is hunting for the worst garage floor out there. And the winner gets a free garage coating makeover. Whoa! Take 10 seconds. Snap a pic of that garage eyesore. Register at checkmatecoatings.com/contests for a chance to win a free floor coating. It's easy. Just snap a quick pic and enter for a chance to win at checkmatecoatings.com/contest. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Helping you over the hump. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weight Loss Wednesday continues on Jaguars Today.
This is Hayes Carlion for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. The online banking services are outstanding. So easy to use. Depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. I also go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Sun's out. Deals on at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Summer's here, and so are the flavor-packed deals, like a Yingling beer-battered fish sandwich, chicken salad lettuce wraps, or the combo basket, all for under $14. Craving more? Add 3 bone-in wings to any handheld or entree for just $3.49. Sip on a refreshing peach tea cocktail, or grab an ice-cold Michelob Ultra. Perfect for patio season. Summer's never tasted this good. Find yours at hurricanewings.com.
Put a little hot sauce on your lunchtime listening.
Spicy.
Joe Coward, Matt Hayes, and Leon Searcy. They are XL Prime Time.
Or alarm fired.
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios. Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
The team at Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to book your next round of golf with us. At Hidden Hills, we love the game, and we'll provide you with a memorable golf experience at one of the most unique golf courses in North Florida. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I-9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
Hacker here with a cool story to share with you guys. Everybody knows I've lost a lot of weight thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. But how about this? I went into my closet a couple of days ago, pulled out a shirt from 2019, and was able to put it on for the first time in over 6 years. That's what happens when you lose over 100 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. The guidance I get from Coach Kate, I've met with her every week, every step of the way. She was encouraging me. She was guiding me. She was giving me instructions. It made the plan so simple, and the weight absolutely fell off. Look, if it's time for you to lose weight, like it was for me, do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, and call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or go to awaken180weightloss.com. They can change your life. I know this because they've changed mine. Now it's your turn. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Since 1901, generations of skilled union workers have built the backbone of our community. Hospitals, schools, the buildings where you work. Every year, a new apprentice class of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is stepping up, trained, driven, and ready to do great things. They're not just building our city, they're building their future. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to become a member or contractor today.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history. The driver's last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, I'm not going to start my son on Four Loko. Thank you for the suggestion. I don't think I've ever tried Four Loko, Tony. Stupidity in a can, I kind of feel is what the Four Loko slogan should be. I think it's isn't that one of those like extreme, like when you want to get drunk and you don't want to wait around, kind of thing with that. At least that's my impression of it.
14% alcohol?
Is that what it is? Is that
am I tripping?
Is that high? You're probably tripping.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
No, Don't give him that drunk.
No, no. Somebody said your White Claws are the perfect entry alcohol because they're so weak, Dylan.
Well, they are weak, but the sugar's insane. I can't take that much sugar. So I can do like 1 or 2 bottles, but then after that, I got to put down the seltzer.
All right. You know, I'm not really, again, worried about the sugar content as much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not for me. So
yeah,
just you know, my son has expressed an interest, and he's waiting till he's 21 to experiment. And he's the kind of kid he'll drink something at the house. He's not going to get behind the wheel of a car and do anything crazy.
Yeah,
it is kind of nice. At least he could have me completely fooled, Tony. It's kind of nice though to have a son or a child off at college that you really never worry about getting that call at 3 a.m. about for whatever variety of reasons.
Are you his father? Yes.
Right. Oh, God, no. Don't need that. All right, let's get these thoughts out of my mind. On the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosure says, Eric Murray even had a good camp. Everyone assumes he is starting, but has he earned it? I can't speak for earning it, but I can speak the way it was expressed to me, is that the team believes that Eric Murray is the guy. Like if you feel like you need a guy out there to make sure that everyone's doing the right thing, everybody's in the right place, and handle the mental side of it. Is he the most dynamic athlete they have in the secondary? Probably not, right? Is he the best, the fastest guy? Probably not. Is he any number of things, but is he the guy that they feel is the most likely to help them cut down on mental errors and blown coverages and blown assignments? The answer to that is yes. That's what they feel. I can't tell you. I haven't seen him make a play really that stands out to me. I'm not saying he hasn't made a play at all in camp, but I can't remember thinking, oh, look at that by Eric Murray. But again, the nature of these camp practices is that outside of team drills, which I sometimes miss because I'm coming back here to the studio, you're not going to be able to keep your eyes on everything that's going on out there. I don't know how the coaches feel about how he's doing in the individual drills, but I do think that they feel like mentally he's been impressive. Much like I told you they were impressed with Chuma Edoga, as much for the mental capacity. Demetrius Harvey mentioned him.
Yeah.
As much so for the mental capacity of playing right guard, a position he had never played before, to come in and not have any mental issues whatsoever. No need to second guess, no slow processing, nothing. And obviously the footwork was there, all the things they're looking for. I don't know how he fared as much with the pads on, but I think he did well because he's been getting a lot of praise from them. And so that there is that aspect of certain guys like, hey, even if you can't make a play that a guy with 4.3 speed can make, you're going to not you're going to keep us from maybe 3 more blown plays than that guy would have had. And that's a value, and I think that's what they see in Eric Murray.
Look, I can understand the question being asked, right? Like, has he earned it, to this point? I do think there's something about that signing has kind of been the least talked about one, basically, since it happened. Here in Jacksonville, it's like we've gone through all the top 5 lists, all the discussions we have throughout the offseason since then, and it's basically been, well, he's going to be playing strong safety next, right? Like, that's kind of how we've dealt with it since he got signed here, and I've heard nothing from anybody out at camp that indicates that scenario is wrong, right? Like, I haven't heard anything particularly positive about him, but I've heard nothing negative about him. Right, like there's been nothing that's happened in a practice where they're like, where the heck was Murray? Right, like he had a chance to make a play, wasn't there to make. Like I haven't heard any of that kind of thing either. So there hasn't been any negative standout for Murray. And he's a player that when they signed him, I didn't expect him to be the guy that was going to be coming in making a bunch of plays for him. He was supposed to be the guy that plays safety and was a safe safety for the football team. And every indication to this point is that's what they've gotten from him. And there's been no real talk about anything happening at that position where there's a real push, right, for somebody to come take that job from him. Obviously, the focus going into the whole situation was at the free safety spot, so that's where all the attention's been. But I haven't heard anything negative about what he's doing.
Yeah, and this is not, saying that anything of this is written in stone, but these are just the impressions I've gotten in talking to people in the organization that it's almost like, he's a strong safety. Yeah. He's just trust us. He's doing what we are asking him to do. Now, being a strong safety, you are not the last line of defense. No. Sometimes you play safeties interchangeably, but I think that's what they see in Caleb Ransaw is the guy that he does have the physical attributes that if the mental processing is there. He's obviously a smart guy. We talked to him last week. He seems like a very intelligent young man, but it's a leap, going from college to the pros, and your head can be swimming early on in your career. But if he has the recognition skills, he has the physical ability to erase mistakes on the back end. And that's where I think he's got the edge that's why I think he's got the edge physically, I think, over the rest of the other candidates to play the position. Antonio Johnson's a very intriguing package of physical tools as well. But I think Ransaw has a slight edge even over him in physical ability. And I think they want him to get up to speed as quickly as possible. I think if they, whatever the Ransaw finish project will be, that if that was ready to go on day one, it'd be no question he'd be starting for this football team. Yeah. And I think it will happen at some point in the year. There'll be a shift where Caleb Ransaw gets in there, and if he doesn't, blow you the first game by being in the wrong place at the wrong time, he probably doesn't relinquish that job for a long time. There
haven't been many indications here early on in camp that that's happening yet.
No.
Right, with Ransaw, but that's not unexpected that it was going to take a little time making the transition from corner to safety. Now, look, they're the ones who made him a third-round pick, and he was the second pick they made in the draft. Like, they made those decisions to do all these things with this player, which is why the feeling is when he gets on the field, he's going to be the guy, right? Like, when he's good enough to be on the field, that he's going to be a safety for the football team for at least the short term, right, as to what they want it to wind up looking like. But there's been nothing yet that makes you feel like it's now, right? Like the winger thing is still very much in play. I think it still keeps Savage being on the roster in play for the football team at this point because there's been no real indication that Savage is ready for that kind of role yet in the defense. Hopefully he will be soon, and they got the rest of training camp and the preseason to figure those kind of things out. But if they were making the decision today, I'm guessing Savage is still on the roster. Right, like I think he's one of the 53 today if they were making the call on it, but there's still time on all that stuff.
I wonder, too, I feel like Dewey is more of a strong safety to me. Like, I think he can do both. I think he's got the ability to play both, but I think I wonder, because I feel like he's really smart as well. Like, and all those things we talk about Eric Murray, wouldn't Dewey bring a lot of that as well? Maybe he's not quite as physical. I'm not sure how they feel about that. And, usually traditionally strong safety, you got to be more of a run support component than the free safety does. But I feel like he is a guy that is at times going to be limited by his athletic ability. So, not everyone's Ransaw when it comes to that.
It felt like they were playing Wingard in the box a lot when they played him 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought he could thrive in that role, So I wonder then, is it possible we are looking at it wrong and that he's kind of competing to be next man up maybe at either one of those spots? I don't know. I think it's open. I don't think anything's written in stone, even including Eric Murray starting. But I think that there's a great likelihood, at least at the beginning of the season, that that's the direction it's going to go. Somebody sent me this on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, a link to, Ari Merov, My Sports Update. He tweets all kinds of stuff about the NFL. So I'm going to take this as gospel because there's nothing here that would make me think he made it up. Dylan, you still playing Madden football? You playing any Madden, or you're more of a college guy? I haven't
played Madden about 10 years.
You haven't played. All right, so you're this college football guy. What's a good number, do you think, for a rookie to come in with their overall rating? What's a solid number, even for a first-round pick, like
low
a high
80s,
first-round pick?
Low 80s.
Okay.
Anything above that's pretty good.
He just listed 6 players. I don't know if these are the 6 top rookies that are listed, but Travis Hunter got an 84, if this matters to you. And that's the top on this list. Ashton Genty got an 81. Let's see. Tedero McMillan got a 77, just looking at the offensive guys on this list. Cam Scadaboo got a 73, and Cam Ward got a 71. And people were like, oh, that was the first pick in the draft, lower than anybody else. Well, that's just, first picks in the draft aren't always the right pick in the draft. And, we know why Cam Ward went number 1. He's a quarterback. He's the best quarterback available. And, whether that makes him the best player available is a different question, a different conversation. So I'm sure he will wear that as a badge of honor, Tony, and angrily try to prove everyone wrong. But at least they're giving Travis Hunter the most love out of any of these rookies. And I guess what do? They adjust these rankings as the season goes along? Like you can download it, updated stuff?
Yeah, they update the rosters like every once a week or a couple of days or something like that.
That frequently? Wow.
Yeah, I think like Ocho Cinco is helping him with that kind of thing now.
It is a crazy world we live in, bro, where you're updating your Madden rosters get automatically updated through the PlayStation Network or whatever. And I saw somebody yesterday, there was a tweet somebody posted, tell me how long you've been playing fantasy football without telling me how long you've been playing fantasy football. And one of my friends replied to it something about how they used to have to, mail in their lineups or call a 1-800 or 1-900 number or whatever it was. And yeah, like you can update your Madden roster instantly. Everyone in America can update their video game roster instantly without even lifting a finger, where we used to have to call in a certain window, and it was probably like 90 cents a minute or some nonsense to change our lineup. Bench so-and-so, start so-and-so. And you had to do that every single week. It was crazy back then. But, it's a different world we live in, Tony, obviously. So Travis Hunter, though, seemingly getting some respect. I don't think 84 doesn't sound like a grade that you'd tell a guy. Now, who knows? Maybe they all think they should be 99s. I don't know. Not that important to me, but I know it is for some people out there. Tony will take us around the rest of the NFL. Always something popping in the National Football League, even when your Jaguars are not on the practice field with the day off. Today, we had a chance to talk with Demetrius Harvey earlier on. I want to get into Devon Hamilton, I mentioned as well, Tony, and his importance for this team. Foye Oluokun talking about the need to be a run defense first, stop the run unit. I think everyone thinks that defensively. But do they have enough beef on the interior of the defensive line? We'll get into that next as well. John Shipley later on in hour number 2. This is Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. 1010XL.
When I met you in the summer.
Jacksonville's summer station.
When I met you in the summer.
Where summer memories come alive.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we know not every injury happens on Sundays. Sometimes it's flag football, weekend yard work, or just playing with your kids. That's why we built a team of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, experts in everything from knees and shoulders to spine and sports injuries. Whether you're chasing championships or chasing your dog, we've got you. Learn more at osjax.com. That's osjax.com.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
Chelsea here. Summer is sizzling and so are the savings at Renewal by Anderson. For a limited time, buy 4 windows in our patio doors and receive the 5th free. Plus enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. As temperatures rise, so do energy bills. Upgrade to Renewal by Anderson's exclusive Fibrix windows. 2 times stronger than vinyl, remarkably energy efficient, and custom crafted to perfectly fit. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Send your favorite person a sweet summer surprise today from Kuhn Flowers, creating memories for over 70 years. This is JJ, and it's just so easy. Order online at kuhnflowers.com, Jacksonville and Ponte Vedra.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Celebrate National Carpet Cleaning Month with Zero Res. Hicken here. Check this out. $45 per room of carpet clean. Take 20% off your air duct services. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of the savings. Zero Res.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. The Jaguars will be hosting a scrimmage in Everbank Stadium this Friday, August 1st at 7 p.m., airing right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM and 1010 AM. Parking lots open at 3:30 with complimentary general parking available upon registration for lots B, C, D, E, J, S, and X. Due to construction, only gates 1 and gate 4 will be open for entry at 4:30 with kickoff at 7 p.m. After it was announced that Florida quarterback DJ Lagway was in a walking boot, the Gators have some more information on the injury. Lagway strained a calf muscle last week and will now be sidelined to start fall camp, which kicks off next Wednesday. It's 92 degrees at 10:57. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, getting into hour 2, John Shipley, 20 minutes away from Sports Illustrated's coverage of your Jacksonville Jaguars at Jaguar Report. Tony Devon Hamilton, Josh Hines-Allen declared him the best nose in the league. And Demetrius Harvey's right. Before he got hurt, he was a very good run stopper, right? But yeah, there's going to be some hyperbole when you're talking up your teammates. I think his importance to his team, though, might not be able to be overstated right now. If you can't stop the run as a defense, that impacts everything you do on the entire football team, right? You let the other team dictate pace, dominate the ball, keep your offense off the field, and you never get into that situation where the cliche, pin your ears back and come after the quarterback. Yeah. If you can continually, or if you're giving up 4.5 yards a chunk, they don't need to put themselves in high-risk situations against
Stopping the run is the foundation of that age-old principle of you have to earn the right to pass rush.
Yes.
You do that by stopping the run.
Right. It affects your secondary, affects everything, right? And, Foye made a point about that, like, hey, we got to be a team that stops the run first. And I think every defense will talk about that. But they talk about it because it's true. Mm-hmm. And you look at this, and we still are not seeing Mason Smith participate. He's out there, doing some individual stuff on the side. Eric Armstead is having a lot of veteran rest out there right now. Maybe that's smart because you don't have a whole lot of healthy bodies. You got Devon Hamilton. I haven't heard a peep about Jordan Jefferson. I have no idea what this current regime thinks about Jordan Jefferson at right now. But, you start to get beyond that. Tyler Lacey, Eli Mostert. It's one of the less distinguished positions depth-wise on this roster.
The only anything I've seen or heard about Lacey to this point in camp is apparently in a one-on-one yesterday, Cleveland put him on his back.
Yes, put him on his back was put him on the ground or whatever it was.
That's the only thing I've heard with his name attached to it.
And that's not a good thing. And by the way, Cleveland is for multiple people really has shown up, particularly with the pads on, which is what you want your linemen to do. Yeah. Which is good.
And that's one of those things where I don't know how good or bad Lacey has been in drills.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know. But
and it's hard to
I heard about that one rep.
Right.
Is the only time that I've heard
those are the ones that stand out to you. Now, you can have one bad rep, right? And that maybe the rest of them were solid to good. I don't know. I'm not making that claim that that's the case.
Yeah.
It's just an area that, we went from, and maybe, look, we're often wrong, right? I mean, when I say we, individually, me, you, Dylan, whomever, but
there
observers.
Was plenty of discussion about defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. Yeah. Now, I never put it at the top of the needs of this football team. But, secondary, look, they addressed secondary and wide receiver in one fell swoop right there. But we went from, this might be the biggest need, or it's certainly among it. It wouldn't shock the football world. Now, is the football world lazy in evaluating the Jags? There could be some of that. But how many people thought Mason Graham's a perfect fit for this team? It's exactly what they need, right?
Yeah.
And had they gone that route, it wouldn't have been as exciting, but maybe it would have been a good route to go down. I don't know. Mason Graham, shows up looking like the fat kid.
If they have done it, I wouldn't have thought it was foolish, right? Like if they had gone that direction.
But they went completely the other direction and really didn't address it at all. Now, you can talk about Dwan Smoot being a bit of a tweener, but and he is to some degree.
Right. To a point, though, where, again, the discussions we were willing to have and were having about defensive tackle, throughout the offseason, going into free agency and into the draft, we were still talking about that being a need for the football team. And the team, from all indications, the reports are, look, they made the move to go get Hunter, and if they had stayed where they were going to take Genty, right? Like it's not like it was ever going to be Mason Graham for the football team. They were going a different direction than that. It's not like they didn't have if they had kept the second-round pick, who knows what happens with that, if there would have been an interior guy that they liked in that situation, but they didn't address it. Anywhere else in the draft, they just didn't address it. So we have the same guys that were here last year coming back, and obviously they're counting a lot on the development of Mason Smith. Unfortunately, he's dealing with what he's dealing with right now. So it's hard to know if he has gotten any better. We just don't know what the answer to that kind of question is. Eric Armstead's not back on the field for him right now, moving from the outside to the inside. So the question, whatever importance you put on the interior of the defensive line question going into the process for the Jags in this offseason to this point, I don't know how you could possibly feel like it's even been addressed, much less answered, right? Like they are counting on a bunch of things that we just haven't seen on the field yet. We just do not have any idea what it's going to be.
And not addressing it, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. I mean, they addressed it by not addressing, right? They looked, and I'm sure they're aware of what they have and what they're going to do. But it's not like, again, after the draft, okay, pass rusher didn't fall in our lap. Immediately had Ogba on speed dial. Yep. Very next day, right after the draft concluded. So it was like, okay, and they've said, we don't want a bunch of veteran short-timers coming in here and blocking the ascension of young players. Yeah. Okay, fine. Once you got through the draft, you knew this team needs more edge rush help. So they went out and got Ogba, and then a little bit later they got Gardeck to come in, and Smoot for that matter, right? So all these guys, and they went that route because it didn't fall. Like, we could have drafted edge, but the value didn't fall, they felt, that lined up with where they stood at the draft.
Yeah.
Maybe they had other positions ready to hire at the time. They didn't do that with defensive tackle, which indicates to me that they were really higher on that group than we thought. And maybe, if Mason Smith is back, let's say in a week, I don't know what his timetable is.
No.
By the way, but they're, again, using that phrase, abundance of caution, which makes you hope it's a short time thing. And once he gets back, it's not going to be a reoccurring issue with him.
For sure.
And maybe they will be fine, and they're just being smart with Armstead because they realize he knows what he's doing playing defensive tackle. We don't need to wear him out in training camp, because we're going to need him to play a lot this year. And it could be as simple as that, and they may be right about it.
Well, the big pieces up front being Armstead and Smith, I think basically in that kind of, as far as regarding their bet on what they had in-house, I think those are the two main pieces of that bet. They're not on the field. Right. So having any idea about how to feel about any of that there's nothing to judge it on. Right. They're not out there. So we just don't know how improved they might be in a position that we all know needs to be so that their two edge guys can be rock stars. They're capable of being rock stars. Do they have enough push up the middle to allow those two guys to combine for 30? Like, they've shown they have the talent to do that when you're not giving them all that much. They can do that. You give them something in the middle, it feels like there are a couple of guys that can combine for 35, right? Like, they're capable of that kind of thing.
Not
even if it's, right, it's the ceiling of what they would be. But they're capable of giving you that kind of production. Can you get enough push on the interior to allow that kind of thing for your two best players on that side of the ball to be the two best players on that side of the ball and it matter? Right, but you got to stop the run and do all these other things first to allow that kind of thing to happen.
Again,
do not know.
I think they're smart. I think it's a smart staff. I think they're very well aware. It's not like they're going to go, oh, man, we forgot defensive tackle, right? I mean, they
made a choice.
They made a choice. They've got a direction and willing to give them the runway to see if that choice is right. I mean, what else can you do? Because no matter what we say here, I think Devon Hamilton is going to shut it down. He's going to play as a top 3 guy, or I think Devon Hamilton is going to be off injured. It could be anything. We don't know how it's going to go. But it is a concern for me right now because, again, that it's almost like the starting blocks of your defense right there. If you don't have that, your linebackers are going to get swallowed up. Your edge rushers are not going to be able to get after the quarterback with as much abandon. Your guys in the secondary are going to be worried about creeping up playing run support because you're not getting it done with your front seven. I mean, you got to be able to at least slow down the run. You can't be a team that lets the other team dictate pace to you the entire second half of football games like they've been too often in recent years. All right, why don't we take a look around the rest of the NFL?
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The Indianapolis Colts have signed offensive tackle Bernard Raymond to a 4-year, $100 million contract extension with $60 million in guaranteed money. A couple of news items out of Cincinnati, including edge rusher Trey Hendrickson is expected, actually has reported for training camp this morning with the Bengals. We'll see how much of a hold-in situation that turns into, as he is at least going to avoid the $50,000 a day fine that he's been subject to. Cincinnati also releasing running back Zach Moss. Miami corner Kader Kohu will miss the rest of the season with an ACL injury. Cleveland cornerback Martin Emerson is undergoing an MRI today to determine the extent of an Achilles injury that he suffered during practice, but the expectation is that it is a significant tear. Buffalo cornerback Maxwell Hairston, the Bills' first-round pick this year, exited practice with an apparent knee injury. Baltimore tight end Isaiah Likely had a foot injury during practice yesterday, and head coach John Harbaugh said after practice that he would be undergoing an MRI. The MRI has come back. It looks like he's going to be out probably into the week one is at least in question for him at this point. We'll see exactly when he can get on the field. And Kansas City wide receiver Marquise Brown left practice with an apparent ankle injury. Fellow wide receiver Sky Moore left practice with a hamstring injury yesterday.
All right, thank you, Tony Smith. Why don't we take our timeout right now? We got John Shipley awaiting on the other side from SI's Jaguar Report. We'll get some camp thoughts from Ship as we move on through hour number 2 of Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You know football season is almost here. It's going to be time for tailgating, hosting parties at the house, college football on Saturday afternoon as well. You know, look, I was actually surprised to learn that aside from making great tasting grab-and-go sandwiches, Dandy will also deliver right to your door. Tailgate subs, party trays, all kinds of stuff, perfect for snacking while you watch the game. And I'm wondering why, after talking about Dandy for over 10 years, I'm just learning about this. Does it have to be a football Sunday or Saturday to get this deal? Can we get some food maybe for us in the studio? 9117 Hogan Road, Thompson Family, creators of Dandy. If I'm not going to get a free T-shirt out of you, the least I can do is maybe feed the crew, get a little Black Forest ham, a little smoked turkey going, and get some of those party subs delivered to 1010XL. We'll keep you posted on that, folks, but when you're hungry, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy. And do it today.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Duval starts with D. Jacksonville Sports Radio is 1010XL.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. The Everbank London Getaway Experience. One lucky winner and a guest get round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and tickets to see the Jags play in London. Everbank.com/London for official rules. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Everbank London Getaway Sweeps entry period 7/28/25 to 9/5/25. Enter and get official rules and details at everbank.com/London.
Who says there's no free lunch? Join me, Hicken, and Jaguar and Gator legend Fred Taylor for free food and football talk Friday, August 8th at Alhambra Theater. When you hear this...
Bye-bye! Brock Marionville chasing a 90-yard run.
Be caller 28 to win a pair of tickets to a free lunch with Fred. Doors open at 11. Jags talk, Gators talk, football talk, including a 1-hour Q&A with Freddie T. And we're buying you lunch. Stay tuned for this sound.
Bye-bye! Brock Marionville chasing a 90-yard run.
To win your tickets, courtesy of Jenkins Hyundai and Genesis of Jacksonville on Atlantic.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. For oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Hey, Googans, Hicken here, and I just want to once again give you this very simple reminder. Wear sunscreen. If you're outside a lot, bring the screen. Put some in your truck, on your boat, in your golf bag, whatever, wherever, just use it. Please. It's hot out there, and I just want you to protect yourself. I use it like it's cool because I think it is, but what's not cool, that's skin cancer. You don't want to deal with that. Go get yourself checked out. It could save your life. Go to beachesdermatology.com and schedule your appointment today. That's beachesdermatology.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I have to brag about my kids' success again. My daughter's success, thanks to our friends at Awaken 180. Now, you know my daughter Amber, as I've been telling you, has been trying to drop some weight for a while. Couldn't really find the right means. Well, she's now been in the Awaken 180 program for close to a month, and you ready for this? She's dropped over 30 pounds. That's right, the number is real. 30 pounds in close to a month. That's with no shots, nothing extreme, just the right plan, the right food, proper coaching, all from the folks at Awaken 180. She already said it's affected her mobility, just her life in general. Man, she is happy. And that means her mother and I are happy too, I can promise you that. So if you're ready to kickstart your transformation, call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. Get started on your weight loss journey. Call them today at Awaken 180.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball now offers web stores, so your employees can order their own branded gear, and you have more time for Wordle. Check it out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. The grind for greatness begins before they play the games. Training camp is here, and 1010XL is there. From the practice field straight to you. Ramped up by Roland Leash Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
How likely is it to live to be 100 years old? The answer coming up.
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
In the United States, about 5% of women live to be 100, but only 1.8% of men.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
I-9 Sports covers the First Coast with all kinds of sports for kids ages 3 to 17. Fall and winter registration is open right now, like girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of co-ed programs in the Tri-County area to keep your kids active. And being part of a team creates great camaraderie and commitment. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay, sign up now for the fall and winter. It's all at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. That's i9sports.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Hal Sutton when he famously said, "Be the right club today"? Well, that's what Coil Fencing delivers. The right fence today. And they've been delivering the right fencing for both commercial and residential properties for nearly 100 years. If you're in the market for a new fence, call Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right. Let's dig into it once again through the eyes of one of the Jaguars embedded reporters, John Shipley, out there for SI's Jaguar Report on a mostly daily basis when, when he's upright and walking around and not injured, Tony. He was on the IR a little bit, or is it the IL? I don't know. But he's back and he's ready to roll. Ship, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
We're doing okay, man. Good to have you on board. In practice, the last couple of days in full pads, crazy heat out there. Oftentimes we get early in camp, you're not going to be able to tell certain things, certain positions, what have you, until they put the pads on. So when they put the pads on over the last couple of days, which players have stood out to you?
Yeah, I think one guy who has absolutely stood out has been Jarian Jones. I think, with just his play style, he's a guy who, once you put pads on, I think he's always going to just stand out a little bit more. He's a very physical guy. I'd say one of their more physical defenders, and I think he's been very impressive. He obviously had that, highlight interception against Brian Thomas in one-on-ones yesterday. The day before, had a really nice pass breakup against De'Ami Brown downfield. He's somebody who has really stepped up, I think. And with the injury to Buster Brown, who's going to be out for the rest of training camp with a lower leg injury, they needed Jarian Jones to step up because obviously they have Travis Hunter and Jordan Lewis and Tyson Campbell, but the rest of that cornerback depth chart, a lot of unproven guys. So they needed Jarian to step up, and I think you've seen it. And then, to me, the two most dominant guys on the field since they put pads on, and it probably shouldn't come as a surprise, has been Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker. I don't think that there's been very much resistance to either one of them, whether in one-on-ones or in team drills. Both are in the backfield a lot. I said on Monday, I've seen, I'd say probably north of 90-95% of every one-on-one pass rush drill Trayvon Walker's taken since his career started. Monday was the best I think he's ever looked. Yeah, this used to be a drill where I remember his rookie year, he looked like a fish out of water in that drill because he was still learning how to be a pass rusher. He was still learning how to come off the edge. On Monday and Tuesday, I think you're seeing him show more pass rush moves. You're seeing him get off the ball a little better, and you're just seeing him be a handful. So I think both of those two guys have been very impactful. And then on the offensive side, I think Parker Washington and Tank Bigsby have both, since the pads come on, have continued kind of their ascent. Both of them were impressing with pads off, but I think, once the pads have come on, neither one of them has seen a dip in their play. Tank especially, it seems like every other run, he's getting near to the second level, and he's been somebody who I think has been kind of one of the standouts of camp in general.
Yeah, we were talking about that, you and I, on the sideline yesterday. Although I do think ETN had a great 2 days. From my vantage point, 100%. I'm not breaking down the film, but he popped to me a little bit, with the aggressive running, the good cutting, ran strong. And I think he's probably feeling that he's getting pushed here, right, for his spot on the team. But let's circle back to Jarian here for a second. Let's take Monteric out for the moment because we don't know how long this absence will extend to, right? What do you imagine right now, if you had to guess, opening day? Who are your two corners, if you only have two on the field? Who are the three in nickel, and who are the four when you're in dime?
Yeah, so I think when they have two on the field, I do think it's going to be Tyson Campbell and Jordan Lewis.
You do?
I think, yeah, I honestly have thought that since the spring. It's kind of looks like that's kind of the way that they've wanted to go. Because Jordan, he isn't a guy who only played in the slot in Dallas. That was definitely a role that he was very, very equipped to play and something he did a lot. But he had also started lots of games on the outside for the Cowboys. Nothing I've seen from him in training camp has told me, hey, this guy is a slot only kind of guy, which sometimes you get. Sometimes you get guys who don't want to play on the outside, don't want to play on the inside. Jordan Lewis, I think, can play both, and I think they think he can play both. So I envision when you see two cornerbacks, he's going to be across from Tyson. When you get three cornerbacks, that's when things get interesting because obviously in some scenarios you're going to see Travis Hunter over there. It's just nobody knows yet just how often you're going to see him. I think Travis Hunter has been phenomenal over the last few days. I mean, the practice that he had on Sunday, the day before pads came on, he breaks up 3 passes throughout the day. I mean, training camp's one of those days where if you get one pass breakup in practice during, team drills, it's a notable event, because there's just so few footballs that get thrown your way. For him to get his hands on 3 footballs in one day, I think he's looked phenomenal at cornerback. So I think they're going to use him as often as they can there while still managing, him and his reps on offense. When Travis is on the sideline, getting some water, getting some reps off, focusing maybe on offense that week, I do think Jarian right now is positioned well. And I think Buster could have been positioned well to be that guy. But, with how Jarian has played lately, I think he's a tough guy to kind of keep off the field.
On the flip side of who is impressed to this point for you, Ship, has anyone stood out as a disappointment for you to this point at camp?
I will say that, and, I'll preface this by saying I missed the first 2 days of camp, so I've been at 4 of the 6. But in the first 3 days I was there, I wasn't seeing much impact from De'Ami Brown. I mean, he was somebody who he looked phenomenal, in the offseason. I'd say he was probably the most targeted guy in team drills during the offseason. He was catching everything. Just didn't seem like he was making much of an impact through the early days of camp. But I will say yesterday, he easily had his best day. He had a really long run on a design touch where, he just blew by the rest of the defense, quickly got past the third level. And, if not for Tyson Campbell pushing him out of bounds, would have scored a touchdown. Then he caught a really impressive deep shot from Trevor Lawrence later in the day. So he definitely had, I think, a better day. But the days before, I'd say not so much. And then, honestly, I'd say the interior defensive line right now, I'm not sure you're seeing a lot of plays being made from that group. You're missing Mason Smith. Eric Armstead is only doing individual drills, et cetera. So the main guys there have been Devon Hamilton, Tyler Lacey, Jordan Jefferson, et cetera. And it definitely looks like a group right now that, when you take out two guys who are supposed to get a lot of snaps, in Mason Smith and Eric Armstead, you can see the kind of difference that it's making, in my opinion.
Yeah, and look, we don't know, and hopefully Mason Smith, be back very shortly, and then there's no setbacks, and then it's just a blip on the radar, and Eric Armstead's just getting managed right now because I know the importance, but we're just talking about it. Like, do they have enough, in your opinion? This is a position group that they didn't really address with outside help coming in. You could say they addressed it with the idea to move Eric Armstead back to the inside. And there are some tweeners on this team that can slide inside and help, like Trayvon and Smoot and things like that, Chip. But, if you want to talk about stopping the run, do they have the horses in place to get the job done?
I think that's one of the biggest questions facing the team. I'd say that and offensive line are the two biggest questions facing them right now. Obviously outside of how's Trevor Lawrence going to look and, what's the plan for Travis Hunter, et cetera, those kind of things. It's a very valid question because it's very clear how much they're leaning, in my opinion, on Mason Smith and Eric Armstead because when you're seeing those guys not out there, you're seeing it start to crop up as, I think, a potential question mark and potential red flag for the defense. Because, to me, I've been impressed by the other parts of the defense. I think the secondary's flown around. I think the linebackers have been maybe one of the best performing, at least the top three guys, Foye, Devin Lloyd, and Mintrell, have been one of the best performing units on the team in training camp so far. And, Josh Hines, Allen, and Trayvon have obviously been phenomenal. Defensive line has been the one spot that right now, if you're asking me for it, has anybody stood out? I don't really have an answer for you. And obviously, when you're missing two guys who are supposed to play big roles, that's going to happen. But the fact that they're missing right now, I think, creates a concern in of itself. And, it's almost at a point where you wonder, is this a position they should add to before week one? Because, if their depth completely relies on, a second-year guy and then a veteran who has had to be managed, in the last year or so and has dealt with injuries, then you got some questions, in my opinion.
Anton Harrison was at the center of a bunch of conversations the last month plus after what Coach Cohen said. Has the reaction that you've seen from him been what you expected to see as camp has gotten started?
I think if you're looking for like the little things in terms of running downfield after play, breaking the huddle at high urgency and just showing, that energy and really being out there as a high effort guy, I have seen that from Anton. I have seen him be somebody who, when a run breaks, he's chasing it 20, 25 yards down the field instead of, just walking back at the huddle or anything like that. So I have seen a change from Anton in that sense. And as a run blocker, I think he's done a good job so far. There was one play on the first day of pads where him and Chuma Edoga just completely uprooted the defender that they were combo blocking. And Chuma, you could see, was just absolutely fired up about it, and so is Anton. So I think you're seeing some changes, absolutely. I do think you're still looking for a little bit for the pass pro consistency. Again, though, he is facing two guys, in Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen, who, one of the best defensive end duos in the NFL. But, they're leaning on Anton to be that guy who can win on an island. So I think you're still looking for a little bit of consistency there. But if you're talking about consistency in terms of effort and the things that he can really control, I do think you've seen a different Anton Harrison training camp. And, Liam Cohen, he's been very direct. He's been very honest about where they see Anton. And I'd say to this point, you're starting to see it make an impact.
Chip, you mentioned Chuma Edoga, and I don't even have to bring his name up. People with the team are telling me how impressed they've been with him. And I, get the thought that out of all the new linemen that they brought in, they're as impressed with what he's done up to this point as anybody. Makari's not on the field right now because of the little back issue. Walker Little, has his ups and downs. I hear Circe talking about him, Leon Searcy, every day, that he needs to be more violent at the point of contact. If Adoga is going to push one of those guys for playing time, who's needing to watch his back more if he is playing as well as we're led to believe?
It's tough to say because he definitely has stood out, I think. I think, just like you said, out of all the new guys they've added to the offensive line, obviously McCary, we haven't really seen out there as much.
Right.
But, compare Hainsey, Fred Johnson, and the rookies, I'd say Udoga's definitely been the most impressive. It's happened at right guard. That, to me, was the beauty of signing and drafting so many offensive linemen who can play inside outside, is that when they do have an injury, they have somebody who they can plug in at multiple spots. I'm interested to see, how he would look on the edge at tackle, just because things are so different at guard. But at guard, I've been very impressed by his strength, his ability to anchor. He has completely, stonewalled some guys in pass rush drills. He's shown the ability to get off the ball as run blocker. He is somebody who I've been impressed by. That's a very real and legitimate thing. In terms of pushing somebody, I'm not sure that. At this point, I don't think Walker Little is getting pushed to the position. I think Walker Little is locked in as starting left tackle.
Okay.
And I'm not sure anything over the course of training camp can change that. Maybe Anton, if he starts to dip a little bit, but it depends really, to me, on how long McCary's going to be out, because it's clear that if McCary's out of the lineup, they're not just going to move Wyatt Milam to right guard and say, okay, this is your spot, etc. They want to develop him at left guard, so they want a veteran there at right guard. As long as McCary's out, and obviously with back spasms, I know Liam Cohen said doesn't look like a long-term thing, but with backs, it's just always a very finicky thing. It's hard to tell. So as long as he's out, I think you have to put Chuma at that spot, and as long as you're doing that, it's just hard to really get him the reps on the outside.
But this is they're trying to create competition, right? And and I get it. Every team talks about that, but especially with a new regime, you want to make your mark by letting guys have the best guys rise to the top. But you look at the contract they gave McCary, and you're like, well, if anybody, like 2 weeks ago, I think we all would have said he's like the safest offensive lineman to start in terms of his job because of the investment they made, and they went out and handpicked him to bring him in. But do you think, let's say he got back and by Monday he's back on the field with the team, do you think Adoga has an actual chance to push him in a fair head-to-head battle, or do you think McCary's got enough kind of contract armor that's going to be his spot?
I think McCary has enough, like you said, contract armor to the point where they invested, so much in him. I think they at least want to see something from him. To me, in the NFL, something a lot of coaches I've covered have said is they don't like guys losing their jobs because of injuries.
Sure.
So, Jawan Taylor, I think, is a good example from 2022. Him and Walker Little were in that training camp battle. Juwan misses a week or two of the hamstring injury. And Walker looked really good, but when he came back, they were, they said that it would be unfair to ding Juwan for that competition just because he was out, because he wasn't technically doing anything wrong. I do think what's interesting is, though, McCary and Udoga both could realistically also play left guard. McCary's biggest reason they signed him, in my opinion, is because he can play all five offensive line spots.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to get your best five on the field, it wouldn't surprise me. Chuma Udoga right now looks like one of the best five offensive linemen. And part of that, too, is because McCary, he got hurt very early in the third practice, so we haven't really seen much from him. But Chuma has stood out enough to me that I'm like, okay, maybe it should be consideration for the left guard spot. He has been that impressive, I think.
What are your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence thus far in camp as he works into another new offense?
Yeah, I think, it was the first couple days that I saw, you definitely saw a quarterback who, a lot like over the offseason, was still adjusting to a new scheme, still adjusting to a new way to do things. Even the little things, something as simple as him having the different up foot, in his shotgun stance. Now he has his left foot up as opposed to his right foot. I thought Liam Cohen made a great point the other day. There was one play earlier in camp that Jordan Lewis broke up a pass to De'Ami Brown, and at the time and in the moment, we're all thinking that's a great play by Jordan Lewis. De'Ami Brown maybe couldn't complete the play. Liam said, no, it had to do with Trevor's footwork. So just little things such as that, it shows you just how much is going on with Trevor's development. Every little thing impacts what he's doing. But I will say, I thought that he had a phenomenal day on Tuesday. I think his ball placement outside of one miss to Brian Thomas Jr. in the red zone where, I don't know, it was kind of like the typical Trevor Lawrence miss where it feels like he's on fire all day, and then he has a pass that he throws, to Baker County, and you're not sure exactly, how he missed it. But outside of that, I thought ball placement, timing, accuracy, I thought he looked very good. And red zone drills especially. I mean, he's made some really high-level, like S-tier throws in the red zone to me. He had one earlier in camp to Parker Washington, who had Caleb Bransaw and Jordan Lewis both all over him, to where you're like, okay, those are franchise quarterback plays. Those are the throws that he's shown he can make. He just needs to find some consistency. So I think, he's still looking to find the consistency. But I do think he has stacked up some impressive days. Truthfully, I think it's been one of the better starts to camp for Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor's always been a player, while I've covered him, in Jacksonville, that, especially in training camp, he can have some slow starts. He's much more of a gamer, I think, than a pure practice guy in a lot of senses. And a lot of quarterbacks are, because they're trying to do different things in practice than they maybe necessarily would in a game. But I think you're starting to see him maybe be a little more consistent and a little more, making those high-level throws more often than he has in past camps. I have been impressed by him over the last several days.
Well, speaking of gamers, Tony, John Shipley has been out there with his fingers wrapped up. He still has to type, ladies and gentlemen. Somehow he has powered through for you to bring you some of the best Jaguar coverage you'll find anywhere. Of course, SI's Jaguar Report. You can find Ship on Twitter at _Shipley, and not infrequently here with us on Jaguars Today. John, thank you for the time as always. Look forward to seeing you out there tomorrow morning.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for all your kind words and checking on me. It meant a lot to me.
Come on, man. We felt like we had to do it because everyone else did. So
glad you're all right.
It wasn't sincere. No, you're a good man, and we're glad you're on the mend. John Shipley, ladies and gentlemen, won't be the last you hear of him, obviously, here on Jaguars Today. All right, let's take our final time out and come back, take a look at the question of the day, Tony, and sweep up any other corners. Dylan just sent me an interesting tweet that was put out there from the NFLPA. They publish a Rising Stars list. They've got the young veteran and rookie lists, and for once, the Jags are getting all kinds of love. So we'll take a look at that on a feel-good moment when we come back in a bit here. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Door Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Go full throttle for a photo finish.
Off the corner, to the line, the checkered flag is waving.
Sunday at Iowa Speedway.
He's gonna do it!
NASCAR is tuned up by Maxie's Mechanics on Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Summer's calling, and Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is ready to answer. Cruise through sun-filled days in a stylish new Tucson, pack the family into a spacious Santa Fe, or explore our selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. Find hot deals on Hyundais backed by our exclusive nationwide lifetime warranty. Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville.com. Visit us on Atlantic Boulevard. For all life's journeys, Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville is here. Welcome to the family. Offer subject to change. See dealer for details.
You wouldn't drive your car 50,000 miles without an oil change, so why are you ignoring your septic tank? Septic tanks need to be pumped every 3 to 5 years. Call 904-862-6769 to schedule your septic pump out with the pros at Duck Duck Rooter.
Sun's out. Deals on at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Summer's here, and so are the flavor-packed deals, like a Yingling beer battered fish sandwich, chicken salad lettuce wraps, or the combo basket, all for under $14. Craving more? Add 3 bone-in wings to any handheld or entree for just $3.49. Sip on a refreshing peach tea cocktail, or grab an ice-cold Michelob Ultra. Perfect for patio season. Summer's never tasted this good. Find yours at hurricanewings.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Buying a diamond, wedding band, or piece of fashion jewelry in Jacksonville? Well, you have two choices. You can go to locally owned Beard's Diamonds, or you can go to one of those mega national chain jewelry stores. The national chains are pretty much all the same. In fact, did you know that some of them are owned by the same conglomerate? Yes, the same Wall Street company owns all the big names. So if you're looking for extreme value with genuine personal attention, come experience the Beard's Diamond difference. At Beard's, our diamonds come straight from the source. We hand select each one for maximum brilliance. We don't have to apply corporate markups and tack on salespeople commissions, so we beat the chains on price every single day. Beard's has the strongest warranties, not gotcha clauses in fine print. Beard's has all the top designers, including Tacori and Viraggio. Beard's doesn't have out-of-state regional managers calling about sales quotas. We are all local, family-owned with total freedom to do what's right for our customers. Beard's Diamonds, all the selection, quality, value, and service you want from local people, accountable only to you. Beard's in the St. John's Town Center.
After 3 years, the Hacker Fantasy League is back here in 2025. Thursday night, August the 21st, at Twin Peaks on Atlantic and Kernan, the HFL is back. Be listening to Hacker After Dark for your chance to enter.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the first coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
Hey, Hickett here. Think you got the ugliest garage floor on the First Coast? Your garage a crack-stained hot mess? Hold on to your squeegee. Checkmate Coatings is hunting for the worst garage floor out there. And the winner gets a free garage coating makeover. Whoa! Take 10 seconds. Snap a pic of that garage eyesore. Register at checkmatecoatings.com/contest for a chance to win a free floor coating. It's easy. Just snap a quick pic and enter for a chance to win at checkmatecoatings.com/contest. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, Tony, I don't know what Clicked Media really is, but Dylan has sent me something from them, so I assume he thinks that this is important and for our eyes to take in and disseminate on these airwaves. Okay, so here's what the tweet says. Jags on top. Wide receivers across the board. Each year, the NFLPA publishes its Rising Stars list, a group of 10 rookies and 10 veterans who are likely to become some of the top-selling merchandise leaders in the NFL. So it's not just you're good. It's more like you got some aura to you, and people want to be seen in your jersey. It's going to be the cool thing. You're on the cutting edge. Get in while they're still on the rise kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Here are the 2025 NFLPA Rising Stars according to this criteria. Now, you would think it's going to lean heavily on offensive skill guys, right? And it does, right? It's like fantasy football. We see the guys with the ball in their hands, see ball, follow ball. What's going on the offensive line? I don't know. I was watching the ball.
And they have a rookie and veterans list.
Correct. So rookie list. Here you go. Your rising star rookies, 10-1, counting them down. Maybe I should start at 9. We'll go with Tyler Shuck at number 10 for the New Orleans Saints. Rising star. Want to get that jersey, Dylan? That won't be on the discount rack anytime soon. How do I know?
I'll wait for it to get at Ross.
Maybe Tyler Shuck will shock the world. A lot of people thought Bo Nix, we'd seen the best of Bo Nix, and then, he did it at Oregon, but who doesn't put up big numbers there? And then he came into the league and kicked some ass last year.
Did.
So maybe some of these guys coming in their mid-20s can get it done. Tyler Shuck at number 10. Matthew Golden of the Packers, who, if you had to guess right now, is he not going to be the number one receiver for this team? Here's the thing. Jaden Reed does not play in 2 wide receiver sets. He continues to be taken off the field in practice in 2 wide receiver sets. How can that? I mean, he scores a lot of touchdowns. Yeah. He's an interesting weapon.
And all the early reports have been glowing about Golden.
Yeah. All right, so he's at 8. Or at 9, excuse me. 8 is Colston Loveland, the Bears rookie tight end. Abdul Carter, the only defensive player to make this list, at number 7. Teteroa McMillan. Don't call me Tet. Call me T-Mac. Not our concern. We'll be shutting you down, be locking you down at the bank in week 1. He is at number 6. Jackson Dart. All right. I mean, I get it. It's a bigger market than Tyler Shuck, right? But he's not guaranteed to start by any means. In fact, they've announced that Russell Wilson is their starting quarterback. Now that can change. So Jackson Dart is at 5. Shador Sanders is at 4. Speaking of the guy who's not guaranteed to start. All right, but get it. If he does put himself in position, he's going to sell more jerseys than Dylan Gabriel, right? Number 3, I'm surprised he's at 3, is Ashton Genty. I could see.
Why are you surprised?
I'm surprised that Cam Ward's ahead of him. I get Cam Ward's quarterback. He's number 1 pick in the draft. I think there's a lot more buzz and excitement about Ashton Genty league-wide.
Yeah, but Cam Ward's played at 2 different colleges, one at Miami and Washington State, so you can make the debate that those fan bases.
All right, so those fan bases will want to buy his jersey now that he's in the pros. Okay, all right.
As opposed to Ashton Genty only being at Boise.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm trying to reach.
No, that's fair. You may be right. It doesn't change that. I was surprised to see Cam Ward. To me, I don't know. People have said, is he the most anonymous number 1 pick we've had in a long time?
Yeah, it's got no juice,
no buzz, right? Yeah. Anyway, number 1 with a bullet, the 2-way unicorn, Travis Hunter. Okay, and I think kids who don't have an NFL team will buy Travis Hunter jerseys. Travis Hunter's a cool kid. That's what he is, right? I think kids gravitate to him. He's got that billion-watt smile that he lights up. You saw him signing autographs for the kids out there at practice, man. He's a lightning rod for positivity and excitement. Okay, so here are the young veteran rising stars in the National Football League. Same kind of thing. They're going to generate sales and interest. Number 10, Ricky Pearsall. Interesting, thinking outside the box a little bit. I think he has a decent chance, puncher's chance, to be the most productive wide receiver in San Francisco this year. Getting him about a round later than Juwan Jennings, just for my purposes. Chuba Hubbard coming in at number 9.
Big year last year.
Big year. Yeah. They gave him a contract.
Yeah.
I mean, his competition is Rico Dowdle and Trevor Etienne, because Jonathan Brooks probably won't play this year. So Bucky Irving at 8. Interesting, only at 8. But he's at 8. Good year for Liam Cohen last year. Xavier Worthy starred in the Super Bowl. He's at 7. Jared Verse of the Rams, only defensive player on this list. A defensive rookie of the year, is at 6. Nico Collins. So this is young veterans. Nico Collins, Tony, was he leading the league in receiving yards when he got hurt last year? He was right up there. I mean,
yeah, it was like him and Godwin were both on those kind of
Godwin and Chase, those guys were. But anyway, he's at 5. Lad McConkey's at 4. Michael Penix Jr. I can get that too, right? Because he's going to be a first-time starter, and there's going to be, we've had a year to at least get teased by him at the end of last year, and so I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 2. still Malik Neighbors on this list? like, is he already that established that he's selling that many jerseys?
Yeah,
or you know what I mean? And number one on your list is my man, Brian Thomas Jr. I say my man because I'm the one who recognizes he's really good. No, I'm kidding. And we all do, right? Our guy, Brian Thomas Jr. So for the NFLPA Rising Star Veteran list, Brian Thomas Rising Star Rookie list, Travis Hunter, both at number one. So don't say no one ever gives you any love or recognition. Let's hope that, again, their play and what they do to help the team in the win column matters a lot more than that. Dylan, if you could, while we have a moment, why don't we fire in today's 10-10 take?
10-10 take. Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
All right, blowout city in the poll today with Travis Etienne pulling down about 75% of the votes on which running back will catch the most passes for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll give my contrarian vote to LeQuint Allen, who I hear, again, don't be surprised. And no one's going to be surprised if you've been paying attention if he is this team's third down back. Now, is he this team's third down back, Tony, if Travis Etienne's on the roster? I don't know. There are so many different combinations of ways, but I think that for me that if Etienne's on the team, for sure, he's probably got an edge because he could be your third down back. He could be a 3-down back. He could be heavily targeted pass catcher on first and second down, right? There are different scenarios where he has different roles on the team and he's still heavily involved in the passing game. Again, my contrarian vote going to LeQuint Allen because I could see, and if he is the third down back, and if they feel that Bajal Tootin and Tank Bigsby and Bajal Tootin are showing effective running ability, ball security, quarterback protection, not necessarily in that order. Again, I think they're not shopping Travis Etienne, but if the right team comes knocking and you look at it and you say, well, we could pay him $5 million. He's going to be here for one more year and then walk, and maybe we get something in a compensatory formula a couple of years down the road. Or could we get bird in hand right now on a draft pick? I still think that's possible. Bajal Tootin, actually, though, second leading vote getter here with 10.5%, a little under 9% going with Allen and 6% going with Tank Bigsby, who – I think just because they haven't utilized you like that doesn't mean you can't catch the football.
He's got 8. Through his first 2 years, he's got 8 receptions.
Not a bunch.
Yeah.
Very, very little. But was that they had a defined role and how they wanted to use him?
Well, and rookie
guys
year,
can get better.
Right. That rookie year, that catch was a memorable one because he fumbled on it.
True.
Right? Like, that's kind of the thing with Tank that he's having to overcome is the fumble problem has to go away. For whatever expanded role you think he might earn in the offense, the fumble problem has to be a thing of the past. And he's got to show that at some point early here. He is so far. We'll see if that continues.
All right, our time is done. Let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Big Sirs.
What it do?
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
How are you?
Doing great.
Give me an observation. You're out there practice every day. The pads went on, though.
Yes.
And I know for you, like, training camp just started, right, the last 2 days, and that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is there a player or players that has stood out, good or bad, on the lines of scrimmage? Was something noticeable to you with the pads on?
Yeah. Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen are legit pass rusher. They're giving our tackles, both sides of our tackles, fits.
Does that mean our tackles are bad, or does that mean maybe we got 2 really good defensive ends?
Well, a little bit of both.
Okay.
When they're beating them the way they're beating them, you got to elevate your game. And hopefully when you go up against, like when I played with the Steelers, when I went up against Kevin Green and Greg Lloyd, who were outstanding pass rushers, I had to elevate my game in practice because I knew that probably more than likely I wasn't going to see anybody that was better than them. So I'm hoping that these tackles take that same resolve. We got to elevate our play if we're going to be able to block these guys.
I know you're talking about Walker Little needs to be more violent, right? At the point of contact.
Yeah, more violent with the hands. A pass set is not passive. A pass set is a violent. You got a guy across from you who's a better athlete than you, faster than you, and he's coming around the corner.
He's coming head first, and you're backing up.
You're retreating. So while you're retreating, you got to understand that there's a certain spot on that field that you've got to cross them, and then you've got to inflict pain with the hands. And I just think that both of our tackles have a tendency to be very passive with their hands, but and their kick angles are a little soft as well.
We need just a Cersei one day to address the team, right? You don't have to become a full-time coach. We don't want to lose.
No. But listen, I would love to go in there and talk to those tags. I don't want to step on any toes because they obviously,
of course, they've got position coaches.
If I could come in the meeting and just talk to them about angles and execution and hands and being fluent out of their stands, absolutely, I would.
Be a great resource.
Yes.
Man. All right, what do you got coming up today?
We're going to talk a little college football. We're going to talk Jags, battles, competitions, and how has Trevor looked the last couple of days.
All right, how do you think he's looked?
It's been okay.
Yeah, so right.
Compared to last year, remember last year, I thought, in my opinion, last year, maybe the first couple of days, he struggled.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that so much from Trevor.
Well, that's good. That's a step in the right direction. And, I see some of the people that are charting plays, and his numbers are pretty good, But, again, that's, you don't know what they're stressing, what they're emphasizing, what the defense is trying to do in those circumstances. But is he throwing the ball on time accurately? Is the footwork good? I think we're taking baby steps in the right direction with him. We're going to need big leaps, though.
Well, Liam said in his presser when he first came here that he needed to work on his feet. So
absolutely.
So that's something maybe, that's a point of emphasis.
Bro, we tend to look at all the positive outcomes that we could get, but, there's so many tripwires along the way. Like, this could go wrong, that could go wrong, the other could go wrong. But we'll not go wrong with XL Primetime for the next couple hours. Sir, good to see you.
Appreciate you.
All right, man. See you out there tomorrow as well. All right, Tony, that'll do it for us.
Yeah.
Today, Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union, John Shipley of Jaguar Report. We appreciate their contributions to the program. I'll be out there taking a little camp tomorrow morning, and we'll have some more Jaguar-aligned thoughts and guests joining us as we continue to march through training camp, in-stadium scrimmage on Friday, and then a week away from the first preseason game, man. And then it's all just snowballing downhill, hopefully in a positive way from that point forward. For Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Stick around for XL Primetime coming up next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
I told y'all to get off of T-Law.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.